part 3 of this edition of TW Wrestling Talk. The Rock has been around live on SmackDown last week. To deliver a nice segment featuring Team Rhodes scholars. It's nice that Damien Sandow, he always seems to have a good way to get involved with legends, and that was the case. They seem to have a lot of good situations to put him in, and with Cody Rhodes as of late, and they do a good job together. So like that Team Hell No segment this past week on Raw, they were that was a good segment once again with Dr. Shelby. They just can't go wrong with those segments. So stuff like that is definitely beneficial. But going back to SmackDown, that was I think it was good that they had some like pre-tape segments of CM Punk, kind of in the in the arena in Miami football field with Miami Hurricanes play. That was a nice touch. It was a good idea. And of course, The Rock, kind of responding to that on Raw or on SmackDown, and that was good. That helped, certainly. That helped that episode of SmackDown. But of course, the Alberto Del Rio World Heavyweight Championship win kind of offsets that, so it's disappointing. But anyways, Raw, as far as The Rock was concerned, they had they announced that they would have the Rock concert on Raw, so that was pretty cool. I remember earlier that day on Monday, looking on The Rock's Facebook and seeing him there with a picture of him, looking at the computer playing guitar. Something. Uh-oh, here we go. We got a Rock concert tonight on Raw, I bet. And surely enough, we did. So yeah, that was good. That was some good stuff. Then that we saw, with Mick Foley being announced as being in the Hall of Fame, and The Rock backstage with Vicky Guerrero, and I find it coincidental how last week I titled when I talked about Del Rio becoming World Heavyweight Champion, the title was included the words "lay," TW Wrestling Talk lays the verbal smackdown on the idea of Del Rio becoming World Heavyweight Champion, and coincidentally, Mick Foley brought up laying the verbal smackdown, he said. So, it's interesting coincidence there. But The Rock, The Rock came out, and he did lay some verbal smackdown, some musical smackdown, if you will, on the likes of Paul Heyman, of course, and of course Vicky Guerrero. He did a rendition of an Eric Clapton song, and turned it into one that really just kind of destroyed Vicky Guerrero. So it was it's hilarious stuff there, no doubt. And he found little moments to kind of rip on CM Punk again. Out of nowhere, he just kind of brings up Cookie Puss, and it was a great segment. Certainly, I wish they would have let him go long. I wish they would have let him do more music. I think the last year when they had the Rock concert, he had a lot of time to bash John Cena. I mean, he spent a good amount of time doing that. they could have had him do a little more, I think, of bashing. They could have, maybe after bashing Vicky Guerrero, they could have had him bash CM Punk a little more, maybe, and then call him out, or have CM Punk just come walking out or something, and go from there. But it was either way, it was good stuff. And it just to me goes to show you um, why The Rock is the last guy basically to end the show. I think there's a little bit of like symbolism here. You know, everyone else, has their place on Raw, but then when The Rock is here, um, he is like the main event. He tends to be the last guy on the show. He's they have him close the show, and oftentimes, um, that was the case here, and it's a situation where everyone should take notes, because what The Rock does. He's the most versatile and talented person in WWE um, out there. I mean, you saw him out there using, the guy can sing too. I mean, he can plays acoustic guitar. He can take he can take musical abilities and then wrap them up into his humor, um, into things relevant to WWE, and you know, and then he can cut in his own way, serious promo, um, on CM Punk, and call him out, whatever it is. The Rock is versatile. He's quick when it comes to his humor. Um, when he says these things out of nowhere, sometimes that are hilarious. You wonder if that was even in the script anywhere. You know, however big that script is, because Rock is known for improvisation on his own, and he's pretty darn good at it. So, um, it just goes to show you that when The Rock is back, he is like the main event, and with CM Punk, these two guys are like the saving grace right now of WWE. There's not much else going on to me other than that is truly something special to watch, to tune into. Um, now you have Ryback and the Shield, an interesting feud there. Um, they didn't do too much this week on Raw. They didn't, they had a little bit of a brawl, but that was it. And then Orton and Sheamus came out to help. Two guys who right now, unfortunately, as far as the SmackDown roster, are two faces that are clearly way above Alberto Del Rio, but they don't really have anything for him right now. I guess to hold out until the Royal Rumble. But this is you know, CM Punk and The Rock storyline here for the WWE Championship is basically the best thing, um, by and far, that WWE has going for it right now. Um, and it's great that The Rock's back, because if they didn't have him back, you know, before The Rock came back, things were pretty bad during the Christmas season. There's no denying that. And part of it is WWE's choosing um, to just not really do anything special with a bunch of guys, and to do special things with people who really haven't proven to deserve special things. But The Rock, to me, obviously he's a guy that is always doing special things when he's around, because he is a special future WWE legend. I'm stating the obvious here. But they're doing a great job, him and CM Punk. Um, they're mixing it up a little bit. They had that Rock concert, and then they had a little brawl afterwards. Something that you never saw The Rock and John Cena get in. That was kind of more restricted to to a verbal feud until they had the match. Um, but this is a nice change of pace here. They have him in CM Punk Brawl. It was made for an interesting closing to Raw. It'll be interesting to see what they do next week in the last the last Raw before the Royal Rumble. So there'll definitely be some interesting stuff. Um, but here, as always, The Rock sending off plenty of laughs, plenty of his jokes, really delivering on the humorous end, and then on the serious end with CM Punk too. Who of course they had him face Brodus Clay earlier in the night, so that was pathetic in itself. But thankfully then they had a good segment that that kind of makes it forget that Brodus Clay was even back in the first place and faced CM Punk. Quite a forgettable match there. Um, so that'll do it for this edition of TW Wrestling Talk. Thanks for watching as always. Um, you know, Try to be up to speed here on whatever else is going on in WWE. Um, and if and we'll just stay tuned on SmackDown and Raw. And I encourage you to please subscribe and stay tuned to TW Wrestling Talk. Get in on the TW Wrestling Talk subscription recommendation contest. And also to like the Facebook too. While you're at it, that'd be great. So thanks for the support, and I hope you'll hear from me in the coming week of WWE programming.